First of all, I'm very happy to share my screen with you. So I will be speaking about our minority in Palestine. This minority is called Gypsies all over the world. So the minorities is a very complex topic, but at the same time, we know that the world creates more minorities day by day because of conflicts, because of wars, because of diversities, etc. Palestine, even though it's a very small country, we have at least 18 minorities, including ethnic, racial, and religious minorities. Other countries, they have 100 minorities. So in Palestine, in 1948, we were a majority as Palestinians, but now we became the minority. And the Jews were a minority, and now they have become the majority. So we will be speaking about three major things. We are talking about an ethnicity that is widespread, which is Muslim or Christian. It has been oppressed historically speaking, and it has its own history and its own legacy. And we also speak about the media and some of the issues that have been spread through the media, sometimes with good intentions and other times with bad intentions. And we need to also be aware that there are international laws that protect the rights of minorities, and we need to understand how we as media persons, we can counter that and we can rely on the international laws. So let's look at some pictures. So these are the pictures or stereotypes about gypsies. As you can see, women dancing, singing, the same girls, etc. So these are the images that come up when you look for Nawar or gypsies in Palestine. Yes, this is part of the truth, but this is highly stereotypical, and we will see how how is that exactly. So this focus on singing, girls, and dancing is given much more importance than other really important issues for this minority. An-Nawar is one name of many names that the gypsies have been called around the world. Even within the same district, the same minority, they have many different names. And the common thing between all of this is that they did not choose to be called as such. The names bear the meaning of disdain, unfortunately. For example, one of the names of Nawar in Palestine, Nawar, Zod, Baramika, Janaki, Gypsies, Dom, Zom, etc. In Syria, this minority has other names such as Makariba, and in Egypt, Hungarians. And in the Arab Maghreb, I think there are even more names for gypsies. So there are so many names for this minority, and most of them, as we said, they have a meaning of disdain, and even those that did not bear this meaning originally, they have become to mean that later on. So when we look at this multiplicity of names, we see that media has a role in that. Whenever we see an article about An-Nawar, we see different other names used alongside. These names have some fallacies, historical fallacies. In English, there is a link between gypsies and Egyptians, which is completely wrong. There is also another fallacy, which is the link between Azot and the Jet Indian tribe, which is a completely different. These are two completely different things. Also, the gypsies are also linked to Romans, as in Roma, the capital, Rome, the capital of Italy. So these are many of the fallacies that the gypsies have been subjected to. Sorry. So where what is the etymology of An-Nawar in Palestine? Some says that An-Nawar is from light and from beauty. Others say that it's from fire, because gypsies are mainly welders, and iron makers and iron workers, and that's why they have been called that. Also, Anawark is one of the followers of the commander Nordin Azanki. Others say that the name has started with the Spanish Navarre tribe, and then Navarre, the V has been turned into a W. Sorry again, I'm coughing a lot. So also, when we speak about this minority, they are around 70,000 people. They all refuse these references, and they say that they are descendants of Beni Morra, that has won many conflicts before. This is what An-Nawar speak about in terms of their origins. They say that they are part of a Beni Morra tribe, which is an Arab tribe, and it is led by Al-Jassas, commander. Also, they said that they are indigenous people to the area. When we look at the 11th literature and the reports there, they asked the Nawar, are you Jordanians? Do you have the Jordanian nationality? They say, yes, I am Jordanian. I have my nationality. And they have always been required or requested to show their identity documents. The gypsies are the sons and daughters of wind. This is their official flag. So it's a blue sky and a green pasture, and there is a wheel. The wheel represents that they are nomads. They are going from one country to another. The gypsies in the Arab region, at least, they don't know about the national day they have. That they have different customs and different traditions that they shall practice at that day. And there is also many other historical events, such as the Holocaust, that the gypsies have been also a victim to. The gypsies have been have been a victim to the Holocaust during the Nazi period.
So the Gypsies or the Windsons, they have a specific language, but this language is no more used, or let's say that their language is agonizing. And also the Gypsies and also the Nawar minorities, they have cultural heritage and also musical heritage, but it is also agonizing, and it is about to be forgotten. So here in Palestine, when you say you are from Nawar, this means that you are a beggar, or you are a bad guy, or you are a thief, and you are lazy and you don't want to work. And also, Zati or Janaki is the description of the dancers in Gaza Strip, and also Kaulia has been also related to the whorehouses. So those words which had been related to the Nawar are in fact related to the prostitutions and the bad guys and the thieves and so on and so forth. And also in the Palestinian media before 1948, we had 222 newspapers and journals. However, in the Ottoman era, we just have 5 newspapers at that time. And also, they did not mention the Gypsies or the Nawar in Palestine. So even we just have 5, or we have 222 newspapers, they did not mention any of the Gypsies or the Nawar. However, after the British colonization, at that time, they started to mention some of the minorities in many of the articles. And however, the reports and also the articles that speak about those minorities, they are just giving more obscure information about them, and they are demeaning those minorities, and also to freeze them in the political scene. And also we will speak about that regarding their relation with the Jews. So these are some of the news of 1938. This is from Palestine newspaper and the Defense newspaper in the 1930s. Those 2 newspapers were the most famous. And also this article is about the Jews who are trying to have an industrial exposition in Tel Aviv, but the Arabs and also the Nawar said that they wouldn't go to this exposition, and also they are they disagree that the Jews will have an industrial exposition in the Tel Aviv. So here you can say even the Nawar. This means that Nawar themselves they are hand in hand with the Arabs at the times, and they are standing against the Jews who were trying to have this exposition. But here you can say that you can see that there is an exclamation mark, and also here in the second article. The second article was about one of the sheikhs of Nawar who had been killed, and also there is also a political dimension for the Gypsies and the Nawar. at the end of the 1930s. And also you can see here from the articles that now are trying to imitate the Jews, and they are asking about a nation within uh, uh, the territory, but here also another article claiming that England is trying to support the now minority against the indigenous people, and also for the support of Mussolini to the gypsies. And here also, this is the newspaper called Defense newspaper, and also they are putting the gypsies between parentheses. And also uh, uh, this piece of news is about the Holocaust of the Nazis. However, it is related to how to attack also at the meantime the gypsies and the minorities. So we know that this piece of news is against the Holocaust, but it's at the same time it is trying to humiliate or to demean the role of the gypsies. And also, the number of Nawar, or the population of Nawar, were about 40,000 at the 30s, but after the displacement and the migration, their number has decreased to the half, maybe 20,000 people. And after 1948, the famous newspaper is Al Ittihad, which is a communist newspaper led by Mahmoud Darwish and his colleagues. And these kind of newspapers are always defending the labor rights. And also, this newspaper had mentioned some of the labor issues related to the gypsies at the whole board, but they did not mention any of the Nawar. So this is a kind of discrimination. And also this newspaper was trying to show that the minorities in the Soviet Union or in USSR are living in a good conditions, and trying to find out whether the other minorities in the Middle East are also living in a good condition, and also all the labor hands from the gypsies are living in a good condition without being mentioning the Nawa. And also here there is another article that makes the Palestinians similar to the Naba. And here are some TV reports and TV coverages, links that speak about the minorities of Nawar and the Gypsies. I can share with you those links in order to have a clear idea about what are the words used and what are the concepts used. And I try to get all the concepts and all the terminology that is used in those videos. And many of the words that had been repeated during those videos were the poverty, an education, evasion from the schools, joblessness, and also the disappearance of the heritage and language, drugs, lack of interest from the officials, that we are from the Arabs, we are from the Sunnite Muslims. So those are the basic words that have been repeated during all the interviews and all the videos that I've shared to you, their links. And and as for us, the remarks that we come out with is that most of the reports had focused on Nawar in Jerusalem, but they neglected Nawar in the West Bank. Mainly that the Nawa in the West Bank are more numerous, or their number is higher than the Nawa in Jerusalem. And also, all the reports were just stating what are the demands and what are the needs of Nawa without sending those demands and needs to the governmental authorities. And also in the cultural and social affairs, Nawa are always are always expected to be the beggars, and also those who are hanging around. I mean, within the cities, and also in some of the videos. Some of the video about the gypsies, for example, that the gypsies they would never steal something from the poorest. So they are poor, they are trying to steal something in order to survive, but they would never steal something from the poorest people or the poorer than them. But so here as results from what we have seen, there is a confusion in the media between the truth about the gypsies and also the other minorities like the Turkmen and the Kurd people. So there is a confusion between all of those minorities. Even in the BBC, we can see that there are no difference made between those minorities, and they are expected as just one minority. And the United Nations, but the United Nations and also the human rights organization have exerted a lot of efforts in order to grant the rights for the minorities. And as you know, each country in this world has minorities, and the Universal Declaration of 1992 about the rights of people belonging to national, ethnic, religious, or language minorities, gave many rights to those minorities in order to survive in within decent environment. From the recommendations here, we can say that the media is not the media was not innocent and was not in favor of the minorities. The media can play a major role in order to help the minorities, and also we have also to review the laws and regulations in a critical way, and also to remove all the texts that are favorizing the discrimination against those minorities in order to give them the right to live with their own language, with their own culture, with their own heritage. And also, not speaking just about the media, but also the social media. They have to post all the offenses against those minorities in order to let the world know about what these minorities suffer from. And also, lately, I think that the representatives of those minorities shall be also present in the media and in the printed media, broadcasted media, in order to speak and also to have their voices heard about what are the stereotypes that they are suffering from, and also what are the issues and what are the challenges that they're still facing.
طبعا الموضوع حول مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي كعامل تغيير في الصورة النمطية. سوف أتناول البحث من عدة محاور.
This research and its different axes. We have the theoretical framework, we have the summary and the structure of the research and the methodology, of course, of the research. I won't go into details in much details about this so that we can give more space to talk about the practical framework on the results of the research and the results of the fieldwork. So, in order to not lose much time, I'd like to introduce and then move to certain important details. And as I said, I will focus on the field framework. So, as we know, the internet has changed the political structure and social structure and media and the culture and all the different aspects that are the basis of our society. And this is why we believe that the internet technologies have changed the way we see and understand the world around us and changed stereotypes. It's changed our belief. So it changed a lot about us as human beings. So the internet has changed all of these structures and thus it has become important and necessary for us to focus on this, to study this phenomenon, the internet, and especially to focus on the social media networks. So there are so many studies about the image and which focused a lot also on negative issues. And in the nature of this research, I focused not only on the pejorative aspects,
إنما أركز أيضاً على القضايا اللي ممكن أسميها القضايا
or the issues that we can call positive that enhance the phenomenon, if it's a good positive phenomenon, of course, and to try to study the phenomenon and from another perspective. So let's not deal with this as if we have any problem to deal with, but we can also study a positive phenomenon that we can study it in detail and we can explain it and enhance it. And so we tackled this topic by asking the question, how can social media actually remove stereotypes and how can they enhance the positive, of course, representation? And here, I did not focus on one specific topic, but I focused rather on what content analysis would come up with the issues that will come out of content analysis. So when we move to the results, we will see certain issues that will show, especially the issue of women and many other social issues. So, of course, when we talk about internet and social media networks, we know that they have boosted minorities and local communities that can see themselves as stereotyped or marginalized, or the communities that they do not have other methods to express themselves except through these social media sites. And this is why in sampling, I focused, of course, the Jaffer Talk page on Facebook. And also, I focused on, for reasons that I might tackle and explain during the presentation when I talk about the theoretical framework and the methodology. So when we talk about now the research problematic, we ask these questions. Did social media networks help journalists? And to talk about Jaffer Talk, did it help in changing stereotypes? And what is the mechanism of this help? We have also sub questions about the communication content that the program has relied upon in changing stereotypes. What are the criteria used by this program in achieving, of course, non-bias or objectivity? And another sub-issue or sub-question, which is, did this program, of course, adopt, of course, non-biased frames in enhancing positive imaging or positive representation. So here talk about the purposes of this research or the objectives of this research. The idea is to study how did this program benefit from social media networks in changing stereotypes. And here we will analyze, of course, content or the content analysis in order to come up with the criteria or with the standards of the topic on social media of the program of Jafar Toka. So here, I would like to know, I won't be able to tell if the program focused on stereotypes or on a good representation, positive representation, only through content analysis. Also, through this research, we were able to study the possibility of using the program of social media to change stereotypes. Also, it's important to know the framework. Did this program use positive frameworks or biased frameworks? So now about the importance of this study. This study is important for many important reasons. First, because stereotype is an important topic, it's a sensitive topic, and it's an ongoing issue. And of course, stereotypes enhance hate speech and violence against gender, against some minorities, and it affects many people around us, many minorities. And for this reason, this is why we consider this as an important topic. Also, the lack of research on this point, especially on talk about positive representation, the lack of research on how we can enhance the positive aspect of course, of journalists. Also, of course, about the increase of the role of social media in changing stereotypes. So this study focused on content analysis. And as I said, I chose Jafar Talk program for many reasons, actually. First of which, and the main reason, is that this program tackles sensitive and important topics, and it's up to date and it's close from our societies. The second point is that the number of followers, of course, of this program in the MENA region is huge, and so this page has more, and this program has more than 2.5 million followers. It's roughly 2,600,000, and this is why I found that as it's a very important subject of research, and I focused on the period between, of course, the 1st of July and the 31st of July 2021. So it's 1 month, and where we had 245 publication, and so this would allow me to study the questions of this research. So I will talk about now the theoretical framework, and I will not go into this in details. I just would like to point that we will talk here about misinformation and the disinformation as it is part of the theoretical framework, and talk also about biased frameworks. And how the important place in changing stereotypes or enhancing stereotypes, and we'll talk about objectivity and its relations with stereotypes or stereotypical frameworks. Now, as to the results of this research, we will discuss a general description of the content of Jaffer Talk program, and also we talk about the issues tackled in the program. So as you said, the 245 publication all came in whether a text or video or a text plus picture. So we never have only just one text as a publication. So texts are usually accompanied by either a video by percentage of 69% or a text accompanied by a picture, which represents 131% of the total of publications. As to the topics that we were addressed in this program, we have social issues, which are ranked first by percentage of 28%, and entertainment also, which represents 18% of the topics. And here, there are of course other important topics such as political, economic, and security, but I believe that Jaffer Talk program focused more, of course, on these aspects and then social aspects, and of course, I tried to talk to Jaffer actually and to ask him a few questions. He seemed ready to answer my questions, but I have not yet to receive answers to some of the questions I asked and the questions that I asked. Also, what I noticed is that in the content, even there was, yes, entertainment, this entertainment aspect, but it usually includes a message, something that is beneficial for society. So as we said, there's a focus on social issues, and then we move to entertainment. There are also religious aspects and talked about women, they talked about heritage of women, and there was also mention of political and security issues. Here, let me focus on the main, of course, categories that were addressed in this program. So we have here a list that will be tackled in detail in another program in another table. So in this table shows that the most important category that was focused, that Jaffer Talk focused on, was dialogue and difference of opinion. So if we go back to the program and study it in detail, we will notice that the program as a whole focuses on the issue of dialogue and difference of opinion and managing that difference of opinion. And usually they invite people, for instance, from different backgrounds. For instance, someone who's religious and someone who is a non-believer. Or sometimes they apply someone who, for example, who has different sexual orientation from the other. Homophobes and non-homophobes or gay people. So they try to focus on sensitive issues and they try to create dialogue and they tackled matters that are not they're not stressed enough in traditional media. And so from a personal point of view, I believe that there were many views of this program. A lot of people interacted with this program because they mentioned these sensitive topics and up-to-date topics. So the program focused on dialogue, on difference of opinion, as you said, by almost a third of the whole content. They focused also on women's rights, on children's rights by a good percentage, up to 22%. Also, the program introduced experiences, stories, success stories of people. For example, it talked about refugees, success stories of refugees, of migrants and immigrants. They show usually their story. They show us this also suffering they went through and how they were able to achieve success and to succeed in their host countries. Could be success in education and politics and economic success as well. Can you hear me well? The speaker is asking. Yes. We can hear you well. Can someone answer the speaker that we can hear him?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Thank you. So as to the other topics tackled in this program, the human rights, also they talked about discrimination, they talked about racism, they talked about bullying, talked about sexual harassment. Also, the program talked about the political regimes in the Arab world and the way it affects life. Could you please speak faster, Mr. Arak, because your time is almost up. Thank you. I will try to work on this. So they talked also about the issues of migrants, IDPs, and other topics. So here, if we try to summarize, we will see that basically they focused about dialogue and difference of opinion. There are also subcategories, for instance, presenting the opinions of people on some topic that was a subcategory, also asking questions and asking users to answer the questions. And another topic that, as you said, was addressed was the women rights, defending women rights. Rejection of some of the terminology of sexual representation of women and other issues related to women, whether in Islam or in our societies, as well as children. Now, as to the topics of human rights, the program focused on the issues, for instance, of activists, of associations that are promoting human rights, human rights, and making sure that people defending of the rights of the minorities, and so on and so forth. Also, amongst the other topics addressed, which is sexual harassment, as we said, and racial discrimination, bullying. The program, of course, criticized such practices and shed light on their impact on society. Also, another sub-topic is the political system in many Arab countries. Also, expressing support to the people against the authority, between parentheses, the lack of implementation of the law, the effect of the impact of COVID-19 on people, on their lives. Also, as to religion, the program talked about Islamophobia, especially in European countries. So here, Jafar tried to actually clarify some of the stereotypes about Islam. Also, tackled some of the attacks against Muslims. Focused also about the importance of respecting different religions. So another topic, they focused about the suffering of refugees, and defined the rights of refugees and IDPs. He also talked on how, for instance, refugees, let's say in Germany, have helped actually the local communities there and have had a good impact on the local communities. Also, I'd like to say that there is an interlink between objective frameworks and biased framework. And here, journalists, of course, address the topic. The more the journalists is objective in addressing the story or the news or the issue, the better an opportunity they have to spread the peace and love within society. But of course, when there is a biased way in addressing topics, that would create more hate, more racism, and that will have an impact, of course, on society. So here, I focused on how can a journalism focus on objectivity through 8 standards, the clarity of the topic, the clarifying the context, trying to be just and balanced in presenting the opinion and the opposing opinion. Also, trying not to use of course, adjectives in a good or bad way, trying to be more comprehensive and tackle the topic from different areas, and to spread facts, of course, even if it is not against the trending opinion, and to be precise. So amongst the most important deductions here, we say that this program has adopted unbiased or objective frameworks, and they avoided biased frameworks, and that they tried to build a good representation about societies and rare or minorities. They try to tackle stereotypes and correct them. Thank you for your attention.